Now at 11, cold and angry. Many New Jersey homeowners still without power and could be without a while longer than they hoped. The impeachment inquiry now entering a new phase, how testimony from these experts could play a role in the investigation. And there's been an arrest in the fatal punch of a man on a Brooklyn boardwalk. Another cold, frustrating day in Sparta, New Jersey. Hello, everyone. I'm David Ushery. Thousands of people in Sparta still don't have power after that nor'easter earlier this week, and many of them won't get it until the end of the week. News 4's Catherine Craig talked with homeowners who say their generators are not enough.
You can see how much snow continues to blanket Sparta here in Sussex County. In fact, utility crews, and some of them are here, they are spread out across this county working around the clock as thousands remain without power. In droves, we saw utility trucks, one after another, traveling across Sussex County. Workers are going into neighborhoods where many utility customers have not had electricity for more than 24 hours. In Sparta, it's another day of no school because of power problems.
My school, we aren't allowed to go to school because we don't have a generator enough to run the whole school.
Some homeowners have generators, but those machines can't do it all.
The generator's not strong enough to run the oven and the stuff to cook with, so we just have lights, and it's enough to run the lights in the furnace.
That's why restaurants like Hampton Diner are busy, filled with people who don't have electricity to run their kitchens. As for the Red Cross, it's running a shelter here at Sussex County Technical School. A shelter opened up last night. Volunteers have been here nonstop. Several people spent the night, while many more have been back and forth between the shelter and their own homes.
They need a place to stay that's warm. They're looking for a little bit of comfort. If you've lost power for more than a few days, sometimes you think you can handle it. And a lot of times people find that, it does get cold.
JCP&L estimates electricity to be fully restored by Thursday night. It's a later estimate than previously announced. The Red Cross says for anyone who needs a place to stay warm, a hot meal, or to charge their phone or laptop, volunteers will be at the Sussex County Technical School for as long as they're needed. In Sparta, Catherine Craig, News 4 New York.
On a lighter note, we're just a few hours away from the Rockefeller Center tree lighting tonight. News 4's Tracy Strahan is in a festive Christmas spirit. She's on the plaza right now. Hello, Tracy.
David, you can really feel the spirit amongst a lot of people down here. They're going to be shoulder to shoulder tonight. You can see what they're going to be feasting their eyes on. The tree is ready, and so are some festive changes.
The lights are up, the cameras are in place, and now for this 77-foot Norway spruce, it's time for action.
Oh my gosh, I just now noticed it. We gotta light this thing up.
And the countdown to this holiday tradition is on. This year's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree is set to sparkle with 50,000 LED lights and a dazzling Swarovski crystal star.
It's awesome. I can't believe the size of it. It's bigger than ours in Syracuse.
But it takes a team to get ready for tonight's tree lighting ceremony. Not just the techs around the Rockefeller Plaza, but security too. NYPD officers are already surrounding the perimeter of the area, where tonight spectators will be required to pass through security checkpoints.
There's a symbol of the New York City Christmas time. That's what it is.
And there's a first for this decades-old tradition, more room for pedestrians to roam. 49th and 50th Streets between 5th and 6th Avenue will be closed to vehicle traffic, allowing thousands the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to give this reaction.
One of those things when they flip the switch, everybody does what? Now, if you're able to pick your jaw up off of the floor, you can come down here and see the tree lit until January 17th. And on Christmas Day, it will be illuminated the entire 24 hours. For now, we're live on the plaza. Tracy Strahan, News 4 New York. David, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, Tracy, we are getting ready, and we've got a lot of fun programming planned for you. Christmas in Rockefeller Center begins tonight at 7 o'clock here on NBC4. Natalie Pascarella, Stephen Holt, and Access Hollywood's Mario Lopez will help you count down to the big moment. And before that, join us for Listen Up Live. That's a special digital pre-show at 6:40 on NBCNewYork.com, also on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages. This is new at 11 in the morning. The Vatican has said Pope Francis has accepted the resignation of the Buffalo bishop. Bishop Richard Malone has been under fire over how he handled allegations of clergy sexual misconduct. He's ignored repeated calls to step down over the past 2 years. In his place, the Pope has named the Bishop of Albany to temporarily run the diocese until a permanent replacement is named. As President Trump wraps up the second day of meetings at the London NATO summit, he has some harsh words for Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The president called Trudeau two-faced after Trudeau was apparently caught on an open mic with other world leaders discussing another leader's tardiness. Trudeau was allegedly venting about having to wait 40 minutes for that leader to finish a press conference. NBC News has not confirmed who Trudeau was talking about, although earlier in the day, President Trump was involved in a 38-minute press event.
I find him to be a very nice guy, but you know, the truth is that I called him out on the fact that he's not paying 2%, and I guess he's not very happy about it.
The president was supposed to hold another press conference this morning, but he canceled it, saying he'd already done so many over the past 2 days. At the same time in Washington, a new chapter in the impeachment inquiry against the president begins. Today, the House Judiciary Committee moving into the prosecutorial phase, interviewing constitutional scholars on the issue of what is an impeachable offense. NBC's Susan McGinnis has more from Capitol Hill.
The House Committee on the Judiciary will come to order.
The House Judiciary Committee taking the reins of the impeachment inquiry, laying the constitutional groundwork for impeaching President Trump.
President Trump did not merely seek to benefit from foreign interference in our elections. He directly and explicitly invited foreign interference in our elections.
In the committee's first public hearing, constitutional scholars explain high crimes and misdemeanors and whether the president's actions rise to that benchmark. Today's focus, this report. The House Intelligence Committee concluding the president abused the power of his office to solicit a foreign power to help him in 2020, asking Ukraine to publicly announce investigations into former Vice President Joe Biden and 2016 election interference, all while withholding military aid to Ukraine. The report also says the president obstructed congressional investigation of his actions. Republicans continue to argue the president has done nothing wrong.
Because you just don't like the guy. You haven't liked him since November of 2016.
But Democrats alleging a scheme, including officials at the highest levels of government, including the vice president and secretary of state. And the intel report names the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, hundreds of times, showing he played a role in pressuring Ukraine. Overseas at the NATO summit, the president asked about Giuliani's calls.
I really don't know. You'd have to ask him.
The president deflecting questions from London as lawmakers in Washington continue to ask their own. Should the committee conclude the president's actions constitute high crimes and misdemeanors, it would draw up articles of impeachment to be voted on by the House. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, NBC News.
New at 11, there's been an arrest and a deadly punch on a Brooklyn sidewalk. Police say the suspect, 22-year-old Kyle Gulino of Brooklyn, was walking with a woman in Brighton Beach when he punched 52-year-old Dimitri Goldfarb in the head back in July. Goldfarb later died at Bellevue Hospital. Gulino now facing a charge of manslaughter. There's an investigation underway at Rikers after an inmate's suicide attempt. 3 correction officers and their supervisor have been suspended over allegations they ignored the incident. According to the New York Times, those officers watched the attempt last Friday on a live video feed and failed to do anything for 7 minutes. The Department of Correction will only say the report is being investigated. The 18-year-old is now in a medically induced coma. All right, going to turn to Dave now. Many wondering what it will be like for the tree lighting tonight.
Well, as you head outside right now, you see plenty of cloud cover, so it's going to be cloudy out there, but pleasant. Let's talk about it. Let's go through the details. Let's take a walk on over to the weather wall together and check things out. So, all eyes on Rockefeller Center tonight, this evening. So what will it be like? Mostly cloudy skies don't change. Temperature doesn't change that much either from beginning to end, from the 40s into the 30s, and we'll see with the winds out there, it'll feel more like it's in the lower 30s. So bundle up if you're coming out. It should be spectacular. And a reminder, if you want to see it from the comfort of your own home, just keep it tuned right here. And earlier than that, we might add, Stefan, Natalie, and Mario will take you through the pre-show. 37 degrees is the current temperature. Winds out of the west at 10, but they'll be picking up at times to about 15 miles per hour. Feels like it's 32 degrees outside right now. Storm Tracker 4's live red sweep not showing anything anything, but a drip or a drop or a flurry not out of the question. And as we look to the west on our radar and satellite composite, you can see just that. So some of that may wind up drifting off into our region. 42 degrees should be our high temperature today. It's going to be gray, it's going to be dreary, and we'll keep an eye out for a shower, something a little more consistent to the south of the city. Sunset at 4:28. 35 degrees our overnight low. Staying cold, staying dry. Winds pick up just a little bit. Sunrise at 7:04. And as we head through the next several days, what are we talking about? Well, it is going to be brisk and blustery into Thursday. 43 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds. And 17 days from now, we'll be saying hello to winter at 11:19 p.m. Saturday, December 21st. So autumn coming to a close and winter just beginning to gear up. And as it does, let's go inside the forecast because we're going to see a little bit of a warm-up, believe it or not, as we head into next week. So warm, moist air moves up from the south as we head into Sunday. Some showers kind of make it into the tri-state area into Monday. But look at that. Temperatures 10 to 15 degrees above where we normally would be. And we will be inching mighty close to 60 degrees as we head into Tuesday. So look at that, David. Listen, we like dry weather, but we like warm weather too. So it may come with a raindrop or two, but 57 degrees on Tuesday. We'll be at the speed limit on Monday to start off the work week. And the weekend looks gorgeous, but cold. We've pushed those numbers down on Saturday to 35 degrees with an overnight low Friday into Saturday at just about 27.
Wow.
That's a little bit of everything in the forecast.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Coming up today on News 4 at 4 o'clock, a troubling trend in one of Manhattan's usually safest neighborhoods. There's a search on for a serial burglar. Also, is coloring your hair safe? There's a possible link to breast cancer. We're going to tell you about the research. So we thank you for joining us on this abbreviated online edition of News 4 at 11. For breaking news or weather updates at any time, you can come right here or you can download our mobile app. Have a great day.